Oh, man, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, man. Do you remember Lord of the Rings? Bro, do you guys miss Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings was legit. Lord of the Rings was the best. There was the Fellowship of the Ring, there was the Return of the Ring, and the Two Towers, and then there was that third one with all the endings. Oh, man, Lord of the Rings was awesome. I mean, there was Gandalf, there was Frodo, there was 6 discs of extended edition bonus material that never even happened, but it just did, and oh, man, this collection just got intense. I wish we had another Lord of the Rings. Don't you wish we could just do it all over again? Oh man, this new trilogy, it can never be Lord of the Rings. It can't even compare, but we can try. It was bad enough that we had to deal with so many on-the-nose flashbacks to the original trilogy, but for the sake of the length of this video, I digress. Otherwise known as Peter Jackson's The Expendables. Bilbo dies! Right at the very beginning, Bard punches out this roof like it's made of paper and then continues running on the others, hoping that they don't collapse as well. Smaug, with his keen eyes, looks right at Bard, identifies his son, and then continues to have a monologue and charge at them instead of just using your fire. Bane brings the last surviving black arrow in the nick of time. Bard's bow breaks, and insert ridiculous makeshift sun crossbow trick here. Smaug dies and is never seen again. At 12 minutes in, this would have been a great place to end the last movie. But then we wouldn't have this whole hour of epic dwarf dragon fighting gold pool statue thing unnecessariness.
Winter is upon us.
Thank you, Aragorn Jr. During Bard's speech to the people of Lake Town, the century-old tradition of the fourth wall of cinema is broken by a Siberian husky that looks directly at the camera. Alfred! Alfred! Don't you just love Alfred? Look at Alfred. Well, you better learn to love him because 20 minutes of this film are devoted exclusively to him. And there's very little character development, and he actually upstages other characters, like Beorn, who are more important and have more to offer to the story. Unnecessary dwarf-elf romance continues in a desperate attempt to make us care. Hey guys, remember this from Lord of the Rings? Yeah, that's the same inscription, isn't it? Hey, I know all these people. They're also in Lord of the Rings. Well, we know they're not in real danger because they make it in Lord of the Rings, so isn't this kind of just unnecessary fluff?
Enter video game mode. Enter boss level. Enter this guy. Player 1. Player 2.
You should have stayed dead.
Cheesy action film line. Fights like a ninja at 92 years old. Hey guys, remember this from Lord of the Rings? Well, she does it about 4 times as long, and it makes me about 4 times as uncomfortable.
Leave Sauron to me.
No, don't warn the rest of Middle-earth. I'll take care of it, guys. Thanks, Saruman. I'm really excited to see how that turns out. You're almost as believable as that Loki guy from the Avengers.
Why show his hand now?
Because we forced him.
Way to go, Gandalf.
Forced him and the company of Thorin Oakenshield set out to reclaim their homeland. Sauron seeks control of the mountain. For where it lies, its strategic position. The dwarves were never meant to reach the mountain. What do you think I'm trying to do?
I think you're trying to save your dwarvish friends, and I admire your loyalty to them.
Wait a minute, Gandalf, weren't you the one that sent them? Wait, so you were just hoping that they would die, and Bilbo included, or are you just kind of instantly having a moment of regret?
You started this, Mithrandir. You will forgive me if I finish it.
Yeah, it's too bad Gandalf went back on his word, but hey, at least there's a guy like Thranduil around to pick up the reins around here and tighten up the slack.
Give the order. If anything moves on that mountain, kill it.
Immediately after this moment, Bilbo hops down the wall and marches directly into the middle of camp, unseen by any of the acutely sensing elves.
These bats are bred for one purpose. For war.
This is immediately following another reference in the movie about breeding the orcs for war. Good God, man, how do you navigate those antlers through anything? Doorways, trees, forest? Don't you live in a forest?
On them only ruin and death.
Cute little peephole where Thorin does not have to look at you directly. Well, okay, guys, I will say I'm excited about one thing, and that's learning about all these other dwarves that have not said a single line since the first movie. Like Bombur, for example. I mean, what's he all about besides just eating and spinning in barrels? Well, unfortunately, that doesn't happen. In fact, only a short-fingered fistful of dwarves actually have a line that's important to the story, and it's nothing to do with their character. Peter, you had 3 movies. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Alfred! 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 Oh, Alfred! Yeah, you know, I'm really glad that they didn't do anything with Alfred. I'm glad that his character stayed the same, greedy little the entire movie, and that at the end, he just walks away like nothing ever happened. You know, that's really good character development, and I'm happy. I'm very satisfied with Alfred. You know, Alfred would be a great cosplay. I think that's what I'm going to do next year. I know what you're thinking. Giant dune-style worms that dig holes in the earth looking for spice. Also a convenient way of traveling through mountains. Well, yeah, it's exactly what it looks like. You know the greatest thing about these worms? They don't even get to use them in battle. They just kind of come out through the other end, crush some rocks so intimidatingly, and then slither back into their little holes and are never seen again.
Give us your answer. Will you have peace or war?
I will have war.
Here's another fan favorite. Entirely CGI, Dane Ironfoot riding in on an entirely CGI'd war pig. It'd be great if we could get a real face under that helmet. Wait, did nobody see Azog establish that tower in the last couple of hours while you guys were bickering? Oh wow, these guys look just like the Uruk-hai. They even march like the Uruk-hai. They even have the same sound as the Uruk-hai. You know what? This really makes me want to watch the Two Towers. Hey Aragorn Jr., how you been? Actually, it's hard to care about you since we don't learn anything about you. You're just kind of there as another plot device. Invincible war moose in an army full of spears and arrows. Eventually gets neutered by an arrow, but only when convenient.
I came to reclaim something of mine.
That's right, you're here for a reason.
I've
Wait,
spent
this
enough
guy's giving up
elvish
too?
blood in
Is this just a
defense of
common
this
thing in
adventure.
war? Like, hey, forget the jewels, forget Sauron, Middle Earth, I'm just going back to the forest.
I'll go.
Don't be ridiculous. You'll never make it.
Why not?
Well, Bilbo, you see, it's because you don't have an invincible bighorn sheep that can just take you up the mountain like it did these dwarves when entirely convenient.
Yeah, catapult trolls in synchronized attack formation. How cool! Spectacle! Insert head shaking here. And the scene and everything it stands for, because Peter Jackson couldn't quite make it through a movie without throwing in a little bit of slapstick comedy, riding down the hill shopping cart style, right into a giant pot-bellied troll. And then there's the small-armed babyface troll. Hey, why not? It's as close to Gollum as we're gonna get in this movie. Okay, it's kind of passable, but then everything's doing alright until this guy. Peg legs, pegged hands, eyes sewn shut with chains. When did this movie stop taking itself seriously and become a Resident Evil game? Okay, don't make me answer that. As succinctly as I can put it, the entire point of this movie is just to fight the battle and go home. So how are we gonna make it 2.5 hours long? Azog! 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 45 minutes of Azog battle. Don't forget Bolg! 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 Oh, isn't he so creepy and weird and bulgy? Yeah, just get him. Let's have him last a really long time, because you didn't get enough of him in the last movies, right? Oh, hey, Bilbo, I forgot you had that thing. And then there's this, because 12 more charged dwarves are all it takes to turn the tide in an epic battle. Oh, hey, it's been like 3 hours. I forgot you were in this. Well, let's see, the movie started at 9, so technically that was yesterday. Honestly, if this movie took itself seriously and it wanted us to care, it would have been great if something really tragic happened besides just Fili, Kili, and Thorin dying, because we didn't really know those characters or really care about them. Well, Thorin's kind of in the middle there, but Fili and Kili? Yeah, there was the elf love scene, romance, but that didn't really work out for me. I think if, like Bard, for example, we didn't care about Bard. I mean, I was more upset that Alfred didn't change than Bard sort of disappears at the end and makes off with the Arkenstone. They didn't really resolve that, but if they wanted us to care about Bard, maybe have, like, Bane die at the beginning. He's not really doing anything else, and it doesn't seem like there's much danger. They just sort of throw in, like, the family's in danger, save them with the shopping cart. But that's it. I mean, nothing. Galadriel goes through these moments where she at first she's really charged and ready to fight, and then she gets exhausted and is like, oh no, I'm fainting, and then she comes right back and does it again, and then she's exhausted again, and it's just kind of annoying. Okay, another thing that really bothered me about this movie is that the battle ends with Thorin killing Azog and then getting stabbed right through the sternum, and then he lives long enough to take an existential look about him and goes, yeah, I think it's time to die now. What is that? Okay, and Bilbo, right at the end of the battle, some of the dwarves line up at the gate and they're like, hey, we're having a feast tonight, you should stay. He's like, no, you know, I'm really missing tea, so I think I'm going to go home. All right, so that's it, and then the resolution feels rushed. That's right. We had 3 movies out of a book that is about the third of the length of each Lord of the Rings book. And it feels rushed? Ouch, Peter. I mean, that's bad. Another thing that would have been really great is maybe if Tauriel died too, with Kili, sort of in a Romeo and Juliet style, but she just sort of goes there over the body, cries, mourns a little bit. Thranduil comes along, it's like, hey, by the way, I'm sorry I was jerked to you earlier. See you later. Oh, Legolas, hey, your mother loved you very much. Thanks, Dad. Where did that come in? Oh, one more thing, Legolas. Find a ranger in the north. His name is Strider. Hey, that's Lord of the Rings. You guys remember Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Well, his real name, this is the best part, you must learn for yourself. Wow, that was pretty epic. I mean, Aragorn's like 10 years old by now, and he's already got a reputation. That's awesome. Look, I was excited for The Hobbit. I mean, look at all the stuff I got. Look, I got the posters. I got this thing from Walmart that somebody stole, a Blu-ray display, and I got these 3D glasses, the silly, stupid-looking dwarf ones that fold too many times and have the stupid frame, and then I got these other glasses that you get at the movie theater. I collected those. Yeah, it's like my collection. Look, I even got a glowing sword. Yeah, it's Bilbo's sword. It glows. Isn't that cool? Look, I stole the Denny's menus. I mean, come on. I was really wanting this movie to be something. Wait, where are the Denny's menus this year, guys? Oh, Lord of the Rings. I miss Lord of the Rings. Alright, so if I had to wrap this thing up in 2 words, it would be this. Money machine. I mean, that's all the movie was. It's just Peter Jackson going, well, you know, it's our last chance to go to Middle Earth, and so I figured that we would, kind of go out on this really epic tantrum of things that could happen that we never got a chance to shoot in the first film. And so what we're going to do is we're going to throw in all this spectacle and stuff and extra elves to please the feminists and the children and make a love story and families and all this extra stuff that doesn't matter. And we're just going to throw it in there and we're going to make a bunch of money. And we're going to make 3 movies instead of 1. We're going to throw in a bunch of spectacle. We're going to go back to New Zealand. We're going to make a bunch of money for the country, a bunch of money for the Warner Brothers. It's going to be great, and everything that we couldn't do in Lord of the Rings, we're going to do it here. It's going to be great. People are going to see it because they love Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So this movie kind of ends right where it begins. It's really on the nose, and they're just like, hey, you should watch Lord of the Rings now. Thanks for watching.